So they create for the follower an intense or unprecedented type of emotional experience. And this is what the worship stuff is all about. It's about every single week leading us through a ritual that is designed to place us in a particularly emotional, psychological, and spiritual vulnerability state. So I used to be a worship leader, so I know exactly how this works, and we would design it that way. So, you know, you come in and you got your two really happy songs to get people, get their endorphins going, and then you would have one sort of transitional song that's kind of like, okay, we've stopped talking about how we feel about God now and happy clappy, and now let's start pressing in. So then you have your transitional song where the lights go down a little bit and the beat slows down a little bit, and people are kind of transitioned into this much more meditative, kind of transcendental state where they're ready to completely become vulnerable. And then you probably have your two worship songs, or what they call worship songs there. So they would be the songs that are really designed and written in a way that will, you know, not just through the musical sounds, but through the lyrics and through the way, you know, with the rhythm and the instruments that he used, are particularly evocative to the emotions and to that part of the brain that's seeking rest and is seeking surrender and is seeking just a place where they can just go, oh, okay, I'm just going to completely render myself vulnerable. I'm going to completely surrender into this. And, you know, you spend half an hour in there sometimes. It's like a meditation. It's like yoga, you know, you're in there, you're in the moment, but you're not in the moment because you kind of got your head focused on, you know, what's out there, what's up there, what's in here. You know, you lose a sense of your body, you lose a sense of, you know, immediate space. You're out of your body. And this is an intentional practice. This is an intentional ritual that is designed in order to give congregation members a sense of out of body experience and focus on a particular spiritual aspect, be it God or whatever. You can do it with anything. Like, just go to yoga. They have a different thing every week for you to kind of focus on, you know, or go to a cancer support group. They do the same thing there. You know, you have your you know, your chit chat and your cup of tea, and then you have your okay, we're going to sit down and kind of create a sense of intimacy here, and then you have people sharing their stories and making themselves really vulnerable, and everybody affirming and going, yep, and you know, and then you gently guide people out of that into a sense of well-being and connection. It's not hard. It's a science. It's a social science. You can learn it and facilitate it pretty much in any context. And evangelical Pentecostalism churches have just learned to do it very, very well with their music. And yeah, it becomes addictive. It is addictive. So I was addicted to it very, very much. The endorphins and the dopamine that those experiences of leading that worship with all of those, you know, you've got command of the room as a worship leader. You've got command of people's experience. You're guiding people through a spiritual experience where they're making themselves totally vulnerable, and they will pretty much do anything you say. They will pretty much listen to everything that comes out of your mouth. And you have to be incredibly careful with what you say and what you do, because people have made themselves totally vulnerable to you, well, to God, but you're facilitating that. But the problem that I have with worship ministry, and I'll make this clear, is that they will say that God is in control of it and the Holy Spirit is in control of it. But I've learned, since stepping away from doing worship ministry and taking on other kinds of support work, it's not God at all. It's not the Spirit at all. It's the facilitator has the power. The facilitator and the team have the power. They are working through a method, a proven method, in order to take people into an experience. And they know how to do it. They know how it works, and they know the result that they're expecting. I learned to do it in support groups. I learned to do it in survivorship groups. I learned to do it in all kinds of other contexts. I learned to do it reading oracle cards, like telling fortunes. It's all the same thing. You're leading people through an experience, and you're getting them to open up their most vulnerable parts. And there are healthy environments for that to happen. But I can tell you, I don't think church is one of them. I really don't, because they're denying that they have that they're doing it. If you're reading tarot cards for someone, you're at least acknowledging that you're in control of that situation, that you're doing something with them, and you're physically present, and you're making it happen. You know, if you're leading a support group, you're setting guidelines. You're instating yourself as the leader of that group. You're saying, okay, I lead this group, I facilitate this group. All I'm doing is guiding what's going on, but I'm present, I'm physically here, and I'm doing it. And you can look at me and decide whether or not you want to participate in making yourself vulnerable. Worship ministry isn't like that. They completely deny that they're doing anything. And that's very dangerous, because they are. They are. They absolutely are. So you can take it from someone who used to be in worship ministry. If they tell you that this is all God directed, and this is all spirit led, and this is all, we don't know what's going to happen here, it's crap. They know exactly what's going to happen. They pray about it beforehand. They talk about it beforehand. They rehearse it. They plan for it. They write their songs accordingly. It's a formula, and it works. Absolutely works. And I don't care if you go into these worship meetings and worship your little head off. I used to. Loved it. Still would if I went today. But you go in with your eyes open, and you know exactly what's going on. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.